Back at it again. Another trip. Quick one. Tesla FSD 12.6.4. Just getting off the highway here, taking a little bit of street to then get back on the highway. I wanted to just kind of check out, see if there's anything new, semi-new area. I usually take the tollway, but this time we're gonna get off here for a bit to avoid some traffic and see how things progress. Since the last trip, not too much has changed on my end. Just trying to get out and still take drives, even though we haven't had an updated software version in a while, just to see if there's any regression or any changes, both positive and negative, that I can report back on. So we will see. Okay. Here we go. Sure why. Actually, I see that traffic coming up. So yeah, we were on the highway. It told me to get off, but I do see some build up here, so it's letting us know to get back on the tollway after this light. Jury's still out on, the effectiveness of the traffic indicators and how quickly they're updated in comparison to the other GPS systems out there. And then in this instance, I'm not in a particular rush, so I don't mind, but if you were in a rush, Google Maps, something else like that may fare better for you. Let's see, that's nice. Okay, taking off. All right, so, and yeah, here goes my indicator here. So we got a merge coming up here. My active monitoring went off for whatever reason. I do have a hat on, so I pushed that back a little bit. So no issues there. Little construction over here on this side. We were able to merge over successfully, no intervention there. That's not to say that there aren't instances where you will need to take over in construction zones. So I'm always prepared to do that, but no issues on that one. So coming back over, we'll have a chance to get back on the highway here in a little bit. My active monitoring is on and now it's off. It's sensing my device in my hand, even though it's not. Nevertheless, that's changed. So I typically, when I film, I do have my mobile device on my lap, so I can kind of get a good sense of what's being recorded, making sure nothing's super off. So we'll see if that is affecting now, for whatever reason, my our driving experience here. Because we definitely want active monitoring on. I'm actually going to take my glasses off here too, because we don't want to have to touch the steering wheel. We do not. So no worries. Now it's back on. So we'll see how long it stays on for there. Okay, so Getting onto the on-ramp here. No issues there. We have this vehicle in front of us is a little more cautious. Not as of assertive getting onto a highway or a tollway, which it's mixed results. I think when you're coming onto folks that are already at speed or potentially higher than the speed limit, 70, 75, you want to try and match that. So I'm on the assertive, better yet known as hurry profile. So this vehicle is always going to take the initiative to get into the fast lane and stay there until we approach the exit. So this has been a couple instances of off-ramp, on-ramp, no issues recognizing and switching between city and highway driving. So that's always a plus. For those that have used FSD in the past, that wasn't always the case. You may have instances where be very slow to get on off ramps, or vice versa, super fast, super aggressive to get on the off ramps, or it would essentially match the speed on the highway coming off the highway, and that's not good either. So both have not been present in my drives for the past, I want to say, at least 6 months. So it's great work by the Tesla team there to catch that and regulate that for sure. So yeah, this is pretty easy. This is, for FSD, the highway is where it excels the most. So you almost expect it to handle itself accordingly. So our exit will be coming up here pretty soon. Start to make our way into the next lane. Super interested and curious to check out GM Super Cruise. I'm positive we'll be upgrading out of our older family vehicle soon enough, and I'll have a chance to really try that in depth and maybe even do some compare and contrast, at least on the highway. I have tried Super Cruise in a rental before, and it's really just for the highways right now. It's not street and city even capable in comparison to FSD. So definitely something to get in the mix. I think all manufacturers at some level, when you're talking about the highway or even the concept of cruise control, you have adaptive cruise control, sure, but being able to switch lanes, turn signals, and at least exit the highway would be ideal, especially for those that take road trips and stuff like that. So there we go. Big plus to Tesla team too for the blind spot kind of cam here that they're putting on the display. Makes a huge difference. I like the screen. Having the second screen compared to having just the one anyway, but finding more ways to utilize this main dash screen I think is super useful and helpful. It's not, for those that have it, it's or don't have it, it's not really customizable. So it's kind of what you see is what you get, but definitely enjoy that aspect. All right, there we go. So back on the city streets. Older road, so some uneven parts here. Good speed, 44 in the 40. Okay, so no issues there. Definitely a cloudy day. It's a cloudy day, but do not think that it is cold or cool by any means. I believe it's 95, 96 with humidity probably over 100. So Texas has a way of being real deceptive when it comes to that. But yeah, this is a smooth ride. I mean, we got about 5 minutes left, so I guess never say never. But this latest build, 12.6.4, for myself and for many others that have left comments in some of my previous videos, 99% of the time it's on par. Yeah, for hardware 3 there could be a turn that may be a little bit smoother, or an instance where you're not as hesitant to make an unprotected left or a particular turn. But I think for the majority of people that don't necessarily know any better and try FSD for the first time, they'd be like, wow, this is pretty wild, right? So I know a lot of us out there can be super nitpicky, which again, you should be, because, vehicle driving itself is crazy to even say out loud, but so we're always going to provide feedback, obviously both positive and negative, but for the mass majority, I think even from a hardware 3 standpoint, 99% of my rides for the past several months have been flawless. So definitely happy with that. Somebody did leave a comment about, it not being close to unsupervised, and it's, definitely from a hardware 3 standpoint, I can say it's not there yet. Hardware 4, if you do have a hardware 4, you can let me know. I know just this week, robo taxis are starting to hit the road in Austin, and while it's super cool, I don't know my trust level with complete unsupervised, right? I think for me right now, this is a sweet spot, having the mass majority of my trips, me, not having to do anything, not having to intervene. But if I wanted to, I could, right? So I think that's the big piece. And so, yeah, I think when we do get to a point where everything's unsupervised, that's going to be something. It's going to be something to watch. There are some videos out there that I've seen folks post with some Model Ys just roaming the streets unattended. So, and they weren't traveling slow at all. It was super confident from the videos I've seen. So yeah, that's where we're starting to get to, y'all. So, coming up on this final stretch, and again, for me, this ride was great. No issues that I can report. So So yeah, so for those that have been tuned in or tuning in, whatever the case may be, if you have any questions, comments, definitely let me know. Again, I think this was definitely a positive trip here. So if there's any areas you'd like me to check out in the DFW area, let me know. Otherwise, we'll talk to you next time. All right, thank you.